Welcome viewers, you're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli, and today I'm going to be explaining to you about a very important concern, viewers. US wants to end Russian oil sanctions waiver. Let's talk about how it will affect our country, India. Now, viewers, fresh uncertainty is hanging over India's oil exports, and let me tell you why. Now, this is after the Donald Trump administration indicated it may not keep extending sanction waivers that have allowed New Delhi to continue purchasing Russian oil. So this, of course, viewers, is coming as a development. And speaking before lawmakers, let me just tell you what Secretary of State Marco Rubio said. Now, he said that the United States really wants to phase out exemptions as quickly as possible. The remarks made during a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing on Tuesday has revived a long point of the friction between New Delhi and Washington. Yet again, viewers. Now, the US has repeatedly criticized purchases of Russian oil since the Ukraine conflict began, claiming that revenues from crude imports help fund Moscow's military campaign. So this is something that US has been claiming since the very beginning. Now, Trump also granted temporary waivers. This is in spite of all of what's happening when global energy markets face supply pressures due to the war imposed on Iran by the US and Israel. Now, let me just tell you what Rubio told lawmakers, and I quote, Rubio said we would like to end it as soon as we possibly can because the underlying policy of this country has been to sanction their oil. These are time-limited waivers for the purpose of opening up more global supply. So, the current waiver, which was first granted in March and later extended twice, is set to expire on June the 17th. Now, Rubio constantly, viewers, is pushing for the end of the waiver really. And he made these comments after Senator Jean Shaheen asked whether the administration would commit to allowing the waiver to expire without another extension. Now, let me tell you, viewers, our country, India, is the biggest beneficiary of this arrangement. Since sanctions were imposed on Moscow by the US and the West, India has emerged as a major buyer of discounted Russian crude. And this of course, helps secure cheaper energy supplies for our growing economy. Now, according to Rubio, the waiver was introduced primarily to prevent a sharp rise in global oil prices during a period of geopolitical turmoil. He made another statement, viewers. Rubio has made another statement. The problem we are facing too, he says, is that there's a contagion potential, and that it is that at some point we can do strategic reserves, we can do some of the other things that we've done to alleviate global supply. He has admitted, viewers, that the measure was not designed mainly for the US economy but helped stabilize energy markets worldwide. Now, what stance is our country, India, taking? Now, India is likely to stand firm. Many analysts, viewers, have clarified that India's imports of Russian oil helped prevent a sharper energy crisis by ensuring that Russian crude remain available in international markets even if it's sold at discounted rates. So for New Delhi, the issue extends far beyond oil. Now, New Delhi has consistently maintained that energy prices are driven by national interest, affordability and energy security. So the government has repeatedly defended its right to buy oil from whichever supplier best meets the country's needs, because viewers, as the US, whatever US is doing is ultimately doing for its business interests. But India also has to take a firm stand because, as I told you earlier, who is really suffering? It's the ordinary citizens of the country. Now, let me just tell you finally what it means for India. Now, India's purchases of Russian oil came under pressure after, of course, Trump imposed an additional 25% tariff on Indian goods. And he also accused New Delhi of helping finance Russia's war. So that was again a statement made by Trump. But Washington has repeatedly argued that revenue from Russian crude exports provides Moscow with funds to sustain its military operations. So Trump, viewers, has made multiple claims, but let's just get to the bottom of it. Behind the concern over sanctions lies a larger geopolitical goal. Washington has been constantly putting pressure on India and other major importers to gradually reduce their reliance on Russian crude and seek supplies elsewhere, especially from Venezuela. So that, of course, is being pushed by Trump. He does exert pressure on different countries for his own interests. There's no doubt about that, as we've seen throughout. But India is going to stand firm, of course, on its ground, is what the analysts are saying. We will keep you posted, viewers, because this is, as we're saying, the war hasn't come to an end. The war is unfortunately having a lot of negative ripple effects globally. But I will keep you posted on what happens next. For now, thank you so much for watching and stay tuned to NewsX.